Okay, we've seen two different applications being presented to different teams. We have our last team that will come up and present. Maritza and Oliver, please take the stage, set up your computers while I'm introducing you. They took a slightly different path this time around to challenge themselves. Full disclosure, this guy behind me is my son. So I just want to say that. He's a bit taller than me. It's a very weird feeling to have your own son attending the camp in the company that you run. But you prevail.
Yeah, I think so. Well, kind of.
Kind of. All right. Now you will watch them struggle with technology for a second, as we usually do. These things are common for most presentations.
That's better. Thank you. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stand over here. You just stand over there, so I can like. Oh, okay. Great. I thought I did.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So, my name is Marisa. I'm from South Africa, and now I live here in Sweden. And then I joined Craft Academy and teamed up with this guy for our final project, PlantEd.
Yeah.
I'll let him introduce himself quickly.
Yeah, my name is Oliver. I'm the coach's son. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing this boot camp for a while, and then I just did it after finishing up some work. So yeah, and I teamed up with Maritza for this because she talked about this idea on the middle course project, and I fell in love with it, and I really wanted to do this with her. So yeah.
Yeah, so we took on this journey. We took on quite a lot more. As Thomas have said, we decided to do our front end in React. So it was quite an intense journey, but we hope you like what we have done. We were quite busy up until just now. So here we go. So what is PlantEd? So PlantEd is basically an idea of, it's a plant maintenance system. It helps you to remind you, keep track of all the plants you have in your house. When does each individual plant need to be watered? So it basically sends you a notification saying that today you need to water these plants, and it gives you each plant's name that you need to water. Because in today's society, we are so busy, we're running around, like you can hardly remember where you left your keys. We have technology that reminds us where we left our keys. So that's PlantEd for our plants. Like helping you to remember to water your plants so you can have some fresh air in your apartment. And we're hoping that this will actually solve that problem for people, so you can actually enjoy life more without the worries of coming home and you spent all your money on buying nice plants for your house and they're dying. So yeah, that is kind of the main idea behind PlantEd. Great.
Yeah, so like all the other groups talked about, we also had a design sprint, and everything we do starts from Pivotal Trackers. We, like on Pivotal Tracker, we set up the project, we were like, okay, now we need to do lo-fis, so Maritza did these lo-fis in this computer program that I don't know about, but still they look nice. Like how we imagined the MVP of our application to look with the most valuable features that we needed to make that we can ship this application, and also we decided on the layout colors we wanted to use. Yeah.
Yeah. So enough about talking about PlantEd. Let's show you PlantEd.
Yeah. So. No, right.
It's open there in the second tab.
Yes.
Great. So as you can see here, we have PlantEd. It's plain and simple. Of course, because it's you will have your own personal page. So the first thing that you will do is you will either create an account, or you can simply log in. So Oliver is going to log into my account for us. And here you have your PlantEd. As you can see, right now we have a double display, but you have your little login toasty that we put in there. It's a nice React feature that we worked on really hard. I know it seems so simple, but yeah, that little thing took a while. So, and as you can see, you have your plant selector. So if you click here, you have a list of plants that we have in our database that's already pre-populated with some information for you. So you simply click one, you add your plant, and there you have your plants. So, and then the next step that you can do is you select the frequency. How often do you need from this point? When do you next want to water your plant? Do you want to water it every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days? So we actually spent this whole morning trying to implement a demo where we can actually live test this by adding the frequency and then having the pop-up show up. Unfortunately, we were not successful at finalizing that. But in 5 days, we will get this notification and we will know that it is time to water our weeping fig. So if you use your imagination, you'll see a similar little pop-up at the top saying for you that it is time to water that specific plant. So that's the main idea. Of course, you have your login function as well. I won't go into the future plans, but this is the demo of our application. It's a single-page React application, so it means you're basically staying on one page for everything that you're doing. You're not being redirected. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are the technologies we used. Obviously Ruby on Rails for the API, RSpec for testing the request specs and the unit test on the back end. GitHub, obviously, React, Netlify to deploy the React application, and Heroku to deploy the API, and coveralls for test coverage. There's a lot of gems and other stuff we have.
And what did you do on Semaphore?
Well, continuous...
yeah, you have to tell them. Perhaps they don't know what it is, right?
Yeah, I can't really describe Semaphore really that good. Yeah. That's pretty much it for the technologies. And yeah, so we built the back end of this application. What you just saw was just the front end. The back end is built on Rails API because when we did this, we knew that we wanted to do the client side on React, so we wanted to have something kind of familiar on the back end where the stuff happened basically. So yeah, the test-driven development, we started with a first unit test and request spec and then just work along with the test. Setting up the multiple endpoints that communicates with the React application. Yeah, and then also, we couldn't show you this now, but we have created channels with Action Cable to have notification pushed to the client side. But we we really tried until like the last minute, but we couldn't get it to work. It works, but it doesn't work. It's a weird one. Yeah, so that's pretty much the Rails API.
And here we just did an example of the test-driven development that we're doing. So green is good, and here it's just like how we tested our APIs. Great, and then on to React. So for our front end, as I mentioned before, we used React as a single-page application. And we took this on, we had 2 weeks, we've never seen React before, and we have limited experience with JavaScript, and naively we thought, yes, it's easy, React is popular, why not? It was not as easy as we thought it would be. I think we had so many nights, like late nights, just working and struggling and not understanding and figuring out why. And as you can see quickly, okay, this is maybe not the best image, but you have the this dot state that you have to enter almost like 20 times in one page. So at the end we kind of felt like this dot state is just a head banging on your table. But we managed to continue on, and what the demo that we showed you, we managed to pull that off. And thanks a lot to Thomas and Raoul for helping us out a lot. We really appreciated that. And yeah, so that was React. Oh, and a little bit how React works. Sorry, I almost forgot. So React is basically, if you think about it, like Legos. So you have all these components, which is each a Lego block, and you put them all together to build something. And that's just a small summary of how React works. Sounds easy, right? Yeah. So what's next for PlantEd? So initially, the PlantEd idea, it was a personal thing that I thought after this camp, this is what I want for myself. And along with my boyfriend, who's unfortunately not here today, we have this, because he can build things, electrical things. And I'm not going to go into those details, but he's going to take care of that side, and we're going to implement more where you can measure the moisture, temperature, and light from your plants as well. So you can get even more data. But then we thought as a fun thing for us to start with, make it accessible to everyone, where it's just a fun system where you can have it and it notifies you, because these last 3 months, I think I've killed a lot of plants. So that is kind of what's next for PlantEd. We would like to, or I would like to continue working on PlantEd. I know I will probably pull in some of my campers to help out with a lot of stuff, but there could be a nice future for PlantEd, and if anybody's interested in forking it and building your own little water system, feel free to do so as well.
Yeah.
What did we learn?
We learned a lot. That React is hard, but you can learn anything basically. It's gonna take a while, but if you just put your mind to it, you can learn anything basically. Learn a lot more about Rails APIs. Obviously, we had like a small task before this final project where we worked with Rails APIs, but that was the only like interaction we had with that. Obviously, a lot about React, and basically now I know what I don't know about React, so I'm looking forward to do some React stuff in the future, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, we also learned a lot of cool new tricks. Like, for instance, you don't always see, if you look at an application or if you're working, because we have so many things out there, you don't notice how much work and effort goes into each and small tiny detail. It might not seem like anything important, but it does take a while to actually implement those things and get them running. And we learned a lot of cool new things, like the small little toasty pop-ups, and like this is one of the things, and also the notification that you get working with Action Cable. And then we also worked in an agile way, meaning that we started off with our base planning of our project, what we wanted to achieve, but not a set plan. And then as we moved on, we evolved our product, and also like the way we work and the things we do. Yeah, and that's all, folks.
Really. Hey, big guy. Really. Right. So, any questions to those people? Amanda, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, do you have it on an app, or is it just a website? And how do you get the notifications if you're not logged in?
So for this stage, it's just a web application that you need to log in. But for future planning that we had in the plans and stuff, is that you will actually receive a text notification.
Oh, cool.
So you'll have your web notification, but then also you will receive just a text message saying that your weeping fig needs water today. So yeah, that unfortunately we didn't get to that part. Yes, Anna.
Knowing what you know today, would you still have chosen React to do it in React?
Yes and no. Yesterday I would say no because it was quite intense. But now that we've done it, I think both Oliver and me, we could give ourselves a pat on the back. It was
Yeah. Maybe choose another JavaScript framework, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was a problem with convention and like documentation that sticks together. It's not like researching Rails is very, stuff is built in the same way, whilst React is like you can't see the pattern as obvious in React as maybe an Angular or obviously Rails is.
Yeah.
Maybe Angular. We wanted to work with JavaScript, so
Yeah.
maybe another framework.
Yeah. Any other questions? Great.
All right. Another round. Right. Are you on there? Yes. All right. Okay. Yes. Amazing. So thank you very much, all three teams. Now, having seen all this, we have to remember that three months ago, a little more than 3 months ago, because we had a Christmas break, but 3 months ago, these wonderful people, these students of ours, didn't know anything, well, not much about web development. We've all used digital services and products, of course. We are all online and stuff. And today, they can build things, get stuff done, both for the mobile platforms and for the desktop. They can plan, take one idea from the initial stage through the implementation, through the planning process, implementation, and DevOps. What really happened, just to give Maritza and Oliver credit, is like those notifications do work. The only thing is, it's my and Raul's shortcoming. We didn't manage to get the DevOps up in time. We did that while the other teams were presenting. We were on Slack with Raul in South Africa and me standing in the back. But we just couldn't get it to work, and we should have tested it yesterday or at least this morning, and we didn't. And so that's a lesson that we need to learn, all of us. That sometimes you have to prepare for those demonstrations, you know. But then again, it's been 2 hectic weeks for this team and for the other teams. And now imagine if this is what they build after 3 months of learning and after 2 weeks of building. Now imagine what they could build in another month or 2 months. Perhaps working in a sustainable pace, because those 2 weeks are now, the pace is not sustainable. You cannot work under this pressure. But let's say we lower that by 50%. You know, we take it a little more easy, but still give them a little more time, like 2 months or 3 months. They could build amazing stuff, fully featured digital products or services, right? So sometimes when you hear, at least for me, when I hear about my colleagues in the business, like they are like 2 months or 3 months too late, or a year over time, and I just wonder what the fuck's going on. Like, come on, why can't you just ship it? These guys shipped massive amount of commits and massive amount of line of code in 2 weeks, and for that I think that they're worth another applause.